Okay, so here we are with Darling, which is like Wine, except instead of running Windows stuff on Linux, it runs macOS programs. And this is something I've never used before, so here follows a quick montage of frustration for me trying to build it. Okay, so just so you don't have to watch like a couple of minutes of installation going by with no explanation, what I was trying to do was compile Darling in Ubuntu 19.4 because I thought, well, hey, that's recent, isn't it? That should work. So here you can see I'm installing dependencies. For some reason I've taken the ones from Debian 10. That might be why it didn't work. And now I'm downloading the source code, which will take a couple of minutes, and then we'll get into the build. But the thing is, I think this must have been too recent a build, because as you're about to see, the moment it gets started with the build, it doesn't work. And this was my second try at building this, because I tried building it on my host before rather than in a virtual machine, and I got all the way through the build. I'm based on Mint 19.1, which is basically Ubuntu 18.4. But the problem is I use overlay FS because I encrypt my home directory, and because of the way Darling works, that just it can't make the container for the fake macOS install for that. So that didn't work. So this was my second try, and as you can see, this didn't work. So now, then what I did was I thought, well, Debian 10's on that list, so I'll just install Debian 10 in a virtual machine with LXDE, which is a desktop environment you're seeing, and then I'll build it on that. So I installed the build dependencies, downloaded it, set it building, and it builds, but it just takes absolutely forever to build it. So like by this time I've probably spent maybe a sum total of 3.5 hours just trying to get this to build in a way that I can use it. But when it does work, it works quite well. And this is deliberately chosen. I chose LXDE deliberately because it's lightweight, so I thought it might make the build a bit quicker. Yeah. It kind of takes a long time. However, it is worth it, because it means you get to see, you get to see this sort of like newer wine type thing working, which is, I always like things like this, just because I've never, well, like apart from wine, I've never tried this. First time I'm trying it, you're seeing in this video, so I thought it'd be pretty cool. This is sped up 6,000%, but you can see it's still taking quite a long time, and we get to JavaScript here, and even though it's sped up a lot, you can see the time, like in the lower right hand side, you can see minutes counting up. It's still taking a really long time to compile JavaScript, which is weird. So I thought I'd do a full build rather than cut some stuff out, just to make sure we got the full experience. I'm glad I didn't do this on my laptop. That would have taken even longer. But anyway, it's finishing up now, so you shall go back to the main video where I'm demonstrating it in a second. So eventually it worked, and just for reference, this is a Debian 9 install in a virtual machine that I'm trying this in. So we're just going to follow the Darling wiki as I do this, which I will link to in the video description and in the blog post, so you can follow what I'm doing. So I'm just going to do some various basic things for the first, to check that it's working, and then we're going to move on to several more ambitious things I'm going to try with it to see how much it can do. But first, we can just run Darling shell if you type it properly. Here we go. So this just gives us a command prompt, and you can do all the standard things like run uname, which will return Darwin. It will say is Darwin kernel version 16 is what it's pretending to be, because it's not actually running the kernel, it's doing system call emulation. But apparently You can also run Linux binaries from in this, so I can do this slash, I guess this is just going to be /bin/uname. Yeah, so you can run Linux stuff from in here as well, which is quite handy. You also have standard things like you have ls. Hopefully you can see the text there because it's made it quite dark. ls-l also works. And additionally, I'm just going to look at the next thing I want to try and do with this. Yeah, so that was, oh yeah, here we go. You can run software vers, which is apparently a thing you can run in macOS. And it will tell you what version you're running. I don't know if it does anything else. No, okay. So that was just like the basic stuff for whether this is working. But moving on to some more complicated things. Yeah, you can explore the file system because it creates a virtual Darwin file system. So you can do things like look into /system library. I don't know why it's printing all of this out in dark blue, it's quite annoying, hard to read it. Yeah, and it just sort of has the standard macOS paths and that kind of thing. So it should have a bunch of, yeah, dylib, like on macOS, uses the same kind of library as far as I can tell. You could also inspect the mac-o binaries with something like nm, apparently. I'm not sure what this does. Let's see if we have a menu page. We do. Nice. Displays the name list. So it stands for name. Alright. Apparently you can run nm and then point it to a dylib, so I guess we can do /user/lib/libauto. Oops. nm. Okay. That's kind of a lot of things. Okay. You can also run Octal, which does display specified parts of object files or libraries. Alright. So you can run Octal-l. I might as well do that. Okay, so it just displays like a bunch of information about it. Okay. We can also explore the processor memory layout. And oh yeah, you can also do, I guess df also works, does it? Yeah, it does. So you just got all of these like standard things, which is quite useful. PS works apparently. So you can see instead of running commands, top presumably also works. Oh, okay, that's not here. That's interesting. We know it has manual pages, but it also comes with Python apparently, which I haven't yet tried, which appears to work. Kind of an old version, because I think the current version of Python 2.7 is 2.7.16 or something. I could be wrong. But it doesn't really matter. And we also have, let's just try something quickly. Oops. There we go. Okay, that seems to work pretty much as normal. And we can also run xtrace arch as an example, which tells you all the system calls it uses, which is many. I don't know what most of these do, but it is interesting to see it doing stuff at least. I'm guessing Arch is going to return. Oh, that's interesting. It returns i386, but presumably this can run 64-bit stuff as well. And we also have launch control, which I don't know how to use, because I haven't used it on macOS either. Okay. We have curl, apparently. I have to put in, yeah. I'm going to fetch my home page, assuming networking is working. I'm guessing networking is not working. Let's start a new terminal and check. Okay, networking is working. Oh, curl isn't installed. Never mind. I'm guessing I did hear something about the encryption not quite being finished on this, and I mandate TLS. Yeah, here we go, unknown SSL protocol error. Yeah, that's because I mandate a fairly new version of the protocol. So let's try Darling's website instead. It doesn't like that either. I wonder if there's a non-HTTPS website I can use. Here we go. HTTP works. Apparently it also has sudo. Except it doesn't actually elevate privileges, it just tricks it into doing that. Okay, so we can also do other standard things like installing a .package file and attaching disk images like the standard macOS ones, and compiling things. And seeing as nothing has gone terribly wrong so far, I think I'm going to try some of that stuff. So, I don't think we have Python 3, do we? No. But do we have... let's have a look. See if we have pip. Okay, doesn't like that shorthand. No. Okay. So I could... I don't know how to install pip on this. I could install python.org python and see if we can run get dev info, because apparently DiscuTil... Oh, I thought that was supposed to be present in this. Wasn't it? HDRutil is. Maybe DiscuTil is not. Okay. Never mind that. But we can still install Python 3, because that will demonstrate installing a package, .package file. It just means I need to download it somewhere. So go to python.org and download the macOS version of Python 3. We want this one, I'm gonna guess. Probably doesn't matter. And then because I can access the system root, or well, basically the Linux file system, which I guess is similar to accessing Z: and Y, and we should be able to just go to my downloads folder. Here we go, and run the name of the package. I'm used to using 2 dashes, but that's not how it works in macOS. And it should install it for us without a problem, hopefully. Sorry about the fan noise. I need to change my thermal paste. Open, come on, not found. Okay, but it looked like it kind of mostly worked. Admin illegal group name. Okay, well let's see if it worked. Because if it did... yes, it looks like it has. Okay. Pip is not installed. Okay. So that works. And we can attach disk images. So I could try downloading... this won't work because GUI, well, I'm assuming it won't. because GUI applications are kind of limited in this, but why don't we have a go anyway? I'd be very surprised if this does work at all, but it'll be interesting if it does. Because this does kind of a lot of stuff, like bundling Python and libraries and things. So it'll be interesting to see how far it does get. Right, so we want to just CD back to... Actually, let's copy it here, shall we? So you can just do it the standard way, which is HDRutil attach, and then the name of it. There we go. So apparently it's there, which it looks like it is. So that's good. And we should be able to... Actually, let's get rid of the V, because it'll just flood the terminal with stuff. Apparently applications reside in the usual place as well. Bad file descriptor. Could not copy extended attributes. Let's just ignore that and hope it works anyway, shall we? It's using a lot of processing power for copying files, which is kind of weird. But I guess that might be because system call emulation. Slowing it down a bit. Okay. So we've done that, and we can do HDRutil detach. There we go. If I run df, it should be gone now. Which it is. Okay. So let's try it, shall we? Open is not a command. Okay. We don't need it. Did it copy this wrong? Yes, it did. Okay, doesn't matter. Because it put a leading slash in, I think. Okay. Let's see how far it gets. Not very far. Symbol not found. Yeah, so it just uses stuff that's not present. Not terribly surprising. Right. Okay. So next we are going to look at trying to run get dev info, just because we can. We don't have DiscUtil, so it won't work, but I'm just interested to see how much it will work. But for that we need pip, which we don't have. So I need to figure out how to install it. So I'm going to look that up quickly. Yeah, I can't use a package manager the manual way. Okay, apparently you can do this. Do we have wget? No, okay. I have to download this using the web browser in Linux. So it's bootstrap.pypa.io. / get pip.py is apparently what we want. Maybe I typed that wrong. Yes, I did. There we go. So we'll just put that in my home, my downloads folder as well. So again, we should be able to copy that. See if it works. No. Okay. Why not? Yeah, I don't know why that didn't work. So I've used this before and it's what maybe it's expecting Python 2. Let's try that. No, okay. Well, it does moan about that, interestingly. Okay, so never mind that. Instead, we will have a look at installing a package manager, because apparently you can do that. You can run Redux, apparently. I don't know how to install Redux, though. Which means I need to try and figure it out. I'm gonna have a look. How to install. Actually, I might as well look this up in here. Here we go. How to install Redux macOS. Apparently this one works. It's on PYPI. But I can't use that, which is kind of annoying. Maybe this is what we want. Not really sure how to do this. Redux Mac. It's not super obvious. Okay, let's just clone or download this. Do the usual routine. Do we have unzip? Yes, we do. Okay. There's quite a lot of useful things by default. Let's try this then. Unzip Redux. So my guess was to head into library and then run make. Cannot run developer. Oh, I don't have developer tools, do I? Okay. Maybe we should try a different package manager. How do I install Homebrew? Do I have Ruby? Oops. Maybe? I can see a bit of CPU usage there, which implies it's doing something. Just be patient for a minute. Okay, we'll give up with that. What I have heard is that you can compile stuff, but unfortunately it looks like I need all of Xcode to do that, which is probably going to take quite a long time to download and run. So instead we're going to try something. It'll be interesting to see if this works. It should do. So I should be able to copy DDRescue, the binary I compiled for macOS. Oh, it's not installed on this, is it? Oh, actually, that's fine. Okay. It's in here, of course. I think it's just here, isn't it? Yeah. This was compiled on macOS. But appears, at least at first glance, to work. So what I'm going to do is plug in one of my test USB sticks, and we can try doing not a recovery exactly, but just using DDRescue to copy some stuff. So, presumably I have devices and things. Uses the Linux device names, as you might expect. Okay. Yeah, so sudo doesn't actually give you access, which means this might not work actually. I think I might be able to fiddle the permissions. Let's have a look. Figure out which one is the USB stick first before I do anything. It's /dev/sdc. Okay. And the permissions by that are that root can read it. So if I do try something weird, if I change the permissions so that others can read that as well, then in theory should work with this too. Let's okay, that worked in Linux. So now if I do it doesn't seem to have come up here, which is kind of annoying, but that doesn't matter because we can do it this way. Let's see. No such file or directory, it says. Why not? Because it's not plugged into this. I'm forgetting I'm in a virtual machine. It is this one. Looks like it has been recognised. Here we go. SDB1. Okay. So there's no point me doing that on the host. So start a new. Here we go. So we can do. We can see it's not readable by others, so we can do +R. Right. Hopefully we now have permission. Looks like it. Okay. So now I'm just going to copy DDRescue to a more useful place. I'll just copy it to here. There we go. So we should be able to do DDRescue-v dev/sdb and then point it at an output file, which can just be ./test.image. Let's see if it works. And it looks like it is, which is interesting. I can see the light flickering on the USB stick because it's a really old one that had a light on it. So I'm pretty sure this is working. And then maybe we can attach that thing and mount it with HDI util, which should also work for raw. I'm guessing that also works for raw images. Let's see what this says about it. Okay. Unsupported file format. Okay, it does need to be a DMG file. Alright. Trying to think about what the other ways of doing this might be. It might be that this is the way you're supposed to do it. Apparently you can just rename it. I doubt it, but oops. Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay. Apparently that is an option. Specify no mount, and I can specify disk image class as well. Probably because I specified things in the wrong order. Let's try that. I think I also need the useful stack exchange stuff. Test.image. Yeah, it doesn't like that, does it? I'm guessing this is not as featureful. Yeah. Okay. Just gonna have a look at how I did this in DDRescue-GUI and see if I can do the same thing. Yeah, on macOS you can just run HDRutil attach, which is what I thought. So it just doesn't work on this. It doesn't like the property list option either. Yeah, so that's quite limited, but can't really complain. DDRescue worked though. It was like a native macOS binary. Let's see what it says about it, shall we? And let's try Octal as well, shall we? Octal-L, what does that do? Print the load commands. H prints the Mac header. Okay. Just trying to think. So unfortunately I couldn't get pip to work, and I'm not sure how I can get... Unless I put all the files for pip in the right place manually, that could work. But I'm not sure what I would do with it. But we've established installing packages is working and all of that stuff. Midnight Commander, apparently we have that. No we don't. We'd have to install it via Redux. Aha, I have a command here. Let's try that. I have a command to install Redux. Oh yeah, okay. Apparently this will do it. Okay. Connection aborted. I'm not sure whether that's an error because of darling or whether the site is dead. Let's download this with Firefox. No, don't use curl -f, for God's sake. Here we go. I did the wrong thing. Okay, it is there. So if I download this, then maybe we can do it this way. So do the usual. Download Redux. Then we can just run sudo python Redux.py, I'm going to guess. Okay. That's interesting. Oh. Okay. Apparently you use Redux to install itself. But I think this probably won't work because HTTPS is not working for some reason. I wonder if I can use CPU information. Curious. Yeah, that's my CPU. Okay, well that was really interesting and I'm glad I have done some stuff with it. It's kind of a shame I can't do more with it, but this was good fun and I hope you've enjoyed this too, or found it interesting at least. And I have some new things coming out soon, so I'm going to see if I can get a minimal version of DDRescue-GUI running on Windows quite soon. Make a blog post and maybe a video about that, which will be interesting. But over the summer I'm also hoping to get a packaged and bundled version of DDRescue-GUI that you can easily install on Windows as well. I'm hoping to get that done, but I'll give you a progress update on that after I have done the next video. So goodbye for now.